Right, we're a short distance. We've come a short distance from Dartmoor Prison. It's September, the sun's out, but as you saw earlier, how quick the mist came along, the ice cold mist, and you couldn't see anything. You can understand why prison escapes were few and far between during this early period, because if you escape from Dartmoor, I mean, if you look now, there's roads, but in those days, which way would you go? And they were nearly all recaptured, the prisoners that did escape from Dartmoor. Most of them had to wait for repatriation. As I was talking about the massacre earlier of the 7 Americans killed and the 32 wounded, that sped up the process. The British government and the Americans decided, right, let's get them back to America. 6,000 prisoners held in Dartmoor, Americans. They were transferred from England, mostly from Plymouth, by boat to America. One of the last groups to go was a group of 20 Irish Americans captured at the Battle of Queenstown in 1812, and they were going to be tried as traitors. And they were brought to England, incarcerated in Dartmoor Prison, and on June the 30th, they were taken to Plymouth, put on the Santa Maria to be taken back to America. This was one of the last groups of prisoners left, these 20 Irishmen. On the journey out, the American Irish took over the ship and put the crew as a cat down into the hold and sailed to Boston Harbour. This happened several times. Out of the 24 voyages back, taking prisoners back, quite a few ships were taken over by the prisoners, and they sailed final act of defiance, I think it was. They took them back to wherever they wanted, Boston, New York, Norfolk. When these Irishmen landed in Boston, they were sent to New York, where they were met in August by their old commander, a man called Colonel Winfield Scott, who had been captured with them at Queenstown, but paroled. Now, Colonel Winfield Scott went on to fight in the Mexican War, and during the American Civil War, he was the first commander-in-chief of the Union armies. So just another connection between Plymouth and the American Civil War, if you like, that I was talking about in earlier videos. But these men were repatriated. They weren't executed as traitors, so that was an end to it, really. Dartmoor Prison went out of use for a while then, until about the 1850s, when it was reused to house convicts.